Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Today I have my 5 best tips for first-time travelers to Europe. Now these tips are European-centric, but honestly I think they could apply to any destination you might be headed towards. And even if you're a seasoned traveler, these are great reminders for your next trip. So give the video a big thumbs up and let's get started with that intro. So I just want to start this video with my travel philosophy, which is to travel like a temporary local. We all have our own sphere of experience that we're really comfortable with, right? It's kind of our bubble. And travel is all about stepping outside of that bubble, getting a little bit uncomfortable, really opening our minds and our hearts to new experiences and, a broader world perspective. These days, with the globalization of our culture, I think it is so easy to travel abroad and still be inside of our bubble. It's really easy to just stay at a Hilton or a Marriott hotel and be in really, like familiar surroundings. It's easy to go get your morning Starbucks coffee or go get your McDonald's. So I really want to challenge you guys to step outside of that bubble, really get outside of your comfort zone, challenge yourself a little bit, and really pretend like you are a local in this city and just soak up the culture. Open your mind, open your heart to new experiences. So tip number 1 is to stay in a hotel or an Airbnb right in the center of the city. This is really important, number 1, because it's going to make your sightseeing so much easier. When you stay in a hotel outside of the city, these tend to be the more modern chain hotels that are very Americanized. They look just like a lot of hotels that we're used to here in North America. You also are going to have to commute from the outside of the city into the city center every day, because the city center is where all the attractions are going to be. So you are not only going to be saving time, but you're also going to be exposing yourself to a little bit more culture and a little bit more flavor of the city. When you stay inside of the city center, you're going to be encountering more locals. You're going to be kind of establishing a home base in your neighborhood around the hotel that you're staying. And you're just going to get a little bit more of a flair and a flavor for the city when you're staying right in the middle of it. My second tip for you is to take public transportation. Now, here in North America, for the majority of us, we are not public transportation literate. We do not take a lot of public transportation. We really drive to a lot of places. So I understand that this might be intimidating, but hear me out. If you're taking a taxi or an Uber in a major city like Paris or in Rome, the amount of money that you're going to pay to take these taxis and Ubers is about 3 times as much as it costs to take the metro in those cities. So it's not only going to save you money, it's also going to save you time, because these are the types of cities that have a lot of congestion traffic-wise. So when you're taking public transportation that happens underground, you actually save a ton of time. Where a bus could take you from point A to B in 40 minutes, the metro can take you there in 10. So it really is time efficient, and it is also money efficient for you budget travelers out there. The other reason why you want to take public transportation is because you are in the middle of the crowd. You have your finger on the pulse of the city. You have your finger on the pulse of the locals. When you're in a big crowd at a tourist attraction, you're just in a crowd of tourists. You're not really getting a flavor or a vibe of everyday life for people who live in that city every single day. When you take public transportation, you feel the energy, you feel the vibe of the people. It is such a memorable experience to take public transportation in a large European city. My third tip for you is to learn some phrases in the native language of the country that you're visiting. Now, most people in Europe do speak English, and you can get away with speaking only English for the majority of your trip without a problem. However, it's really great to learn phrases like yes, no, thank you, please, good evening, good morning, I would like to order, can I have the check please, can I have directions too? These types of phrases learned in the native language can help you out tremendously as a traveler, especially if you are trying to travel like a temporary local. When you approach somebody in their native language, you are telling them You are signaling to them that you are respectful of their culture, that you are a curious traveler, that you have an open heart and an open mind. This is going to get you so far. You're going to get much better service. You're going to get kinder people, and you're also going to help break down the walls a little bit, and you might make a better connection with somebody because you sort of took that initiative to learn those phrases and to use them. And that's what travel is all about. It's all about connections. It's all about breaking down barriers and walls, right? Stepping outside of that bubble. So really try to learn those phrases. Apps like Duolingo, there's translating apps, there's all kinds of things that you can do to kind of practice before your trip, and do your best and give it your best shot. Like I said, a lot of people do speak English, so you'll probably be okay, but try to start off in the native language and see what doors open up to you. My fourth tip for you is to use the local currency, to use cash. Most of Europe is a card society, just like North America is, but there are still some places that don't accept cards. Shops, some taxis, things like that. You do want to have some cash on hand for those certain situations. Another reason why you want to use cash is sometimes, like, especially I noticed this in Italy, they'll give you a cash price. They'll give you a discount on the price of a good if you pay in cash. They will not give you a discount if you use a card, because most, especially small shop owners, do not want to pay the merchant fees for running your credit card. So they will give you a little bit of a discount on the price if you pay in cash. So it's a good idea to have some cash on hand for purchases like that. It's also a good idea to use cash on your trip because it's actually a little bit cheaper than using your card, especially if you have foreign transaction fees on your card. So this can be a little bit of a better way for you to save money. And it's a nice budget tip as well, because when you take the cash out, you have that physical reminder of what your daily budget is, and you can stick to it a little better than when you're just kind of mindlessly swiping a card. So a couple of reasons why you would want to use cash. I definitely recommend just getting your cash from the ATM once you land in the airport. Don't use the currency counters, the conversions or anything like that. Those tend to have fees associated with them. Your regular old debit card should work just fine at the ATM in the European airports. My fifth tip is to pack light. I really recommend that you try to bring just one bag with you, no matter the length of your trip. Just bring one bag per person. If this sounds daunting or you don't know how to go about it, I did make a video about how to pack one carry-on bag for 3 weeks in Europe. I'm going to link that above here for you if you want to know more about that. Couple of reasons. Number one, if you were taking public transportation and you have your bags with you, you really want one bag. Public transportation can get very crowded, and it can be very overwhelming. So when you only have one bag to look after, it makes moving back and forth between the city a lot more efficient. A lot of these smaller European hotels don't have elevators, and they're not going to have somebody who's going to carry your bags up the flight of stairs for you. So you really want to have one bag that you know you could manage in any situation that was thrown at you. You don't want to be dependent on needing help to get your bags to your room, right? The other reason is when you have more than one bag, you kind of set yourself up as a target, especially to like pickpockets. Now, I'm not talking about violent crime or muggings, but there are pickpockets in Europe, and basically what it means is they just literally slip their hands in your pockets and take your stuff. It's non-violent. A lot of times people don't know that it's happened until, they're going for their wallet and it's gone. But when you are overloaded with like 3-4 bags with you and you can't like carry all of it and you have to put stuff down and you look overloaded with stuff, and especially when you're carrying so much stuff, you've got to have something valuable with you, right? You make yourself a target for this type of thing. You're not easily able to move around in crowds. You're not easily able to take public transportation, and you sort of set yourself up as a target for pickpockets and thieves. You really do. So safety-wise, peace of mind-wise, you just want to try to travel light, to have one bag that you can keep your eye or your hands on at all times. So give that video a big thumbs up if those tips were helpful to you. Let me know in the comment box below where you're headed to next, and I wish you very safe and happy travels wherever you may be headed. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.